In this episode, we'll do a quick overview of the TransPac yacht race, some history of the race, some fun facts, and last but not least, the trophies and awards that we're all shooting for. Please sit back and enjoy the video. TransPac, in a nutshell, we start 1 July at high noon from Point Furman's buoy, and we sail around Catalina, so we have to be on the north side of Catalina Island, and then 2,225 miles non-stop across the Pacific Ocean to end up in Oahu. Come in through this way. Here's a zoomed in version over here. We're going to finish right off of Diamond Head at that buoy number 2 you see right there. And then we're going to sail over here in this little, into the marina here. And then we're going to drink about 1 million Mai Tais. And hopefully have a nice welcoming party. I know all the families and people are coming. So that is the summary, a quick overview of what the TransPac yacht race is. So now that you saw the course, a little bit about the starts. There's actually 3 starts based on the speed of the boats. We are the absolute slowest boat. So we get to start on the first day, which is July 1st. There's another start on July 3rd. And then the third start on July 5th for the really fast boats like the 100-footers, the big 80-footers, those guys that really haul butt across the ocean. For them, it might take 6 to 8 days to get there. And for us, it'll take roughly, right now, based on what we're looking at, right around somewhere between 13 and 15 days. So we're saying 14 days till we get there. So if we start on the 1st, hope to be there by the 15th and enjoy some time in Hawaii when we get there. A little bit of history of the yacht race. The TransPac has been raced 51 times. It started in 1906 when a sailor named Clarence McFarland from Honolulu actually wrote some letters, sent it over to 2 sailors, one in LA and one in San Francisco, and discussing an ocean race that would go from San Francisco to Hawaii or Honolulu. He then sailed in 1906 from Honolulu to San Francisco, but he arrived about 20-something days after the earthquakes and the fires that devastated San Francisco at that time. So they decided to move the start down to Los Angeles. It has been there. In Los Angeles, there's a few other places I'll discuss in a minute where they started, but they started out of Los Angeles on even years from 1906 to 1936, missing 10 years, so 5 races during World War I where they were not being contended. And after 1936, they started the races again in 1939 to go to odd number years to then not conflict with the other big yacht race in America, which is the Newport to Bermuda race. It has been going on since 1939, odd years, so like 39, 41, and in our case, 21, 23, 25, since 39, though they did not race from 1942 to 46 or 47 due to World War II. Some fun facts about the race. The race records right now, the monohull class, which is really all the one we really care about, is Comanche, which is down in Sydney right now. They race a lot of Sydney Hobart races. They did it. It's a 100-foot boat, 5 days with Jim Clark was the owner. Ken Reed was the skipper. 5 days, 1 hour, 55 minutes and 26 seconds. The overall fastest is by multi-hull, which is not much faster, almost a day faster, but 4 days, 6 hours, 32 minutes and 30 seconds. So I mentioned earlier that it always started in Los Angeles, and that's been true except for 1928 when it started at Newport Beach, in 1923 and 1932 where it started in San Francisco. The most amount of boats ever raced was in 1979. They had 80 boats that participated that year. The smallest fleet was 1932, which during the Great Depression, only 2 boats showed up. The smallest boat was a 25-foot sloop named Vapor, sailed in 1999. And the largest is a 161-foot schooner named Goodwill that sailed in 1953 and 1959. And they, even though they're that big, only did it in 10 and a half days. And you can see with the modern fast boats, talked about a few minutes ago, which was they did 5 days, just over 5 days, which is pretty impressive. The longest time it took to ever complete a TransPac was 23 days, 23 hours, and 55 minutes by a 42-foot catch named Viking Childry in 1939. So they were really just cruising across, not really in any massive rush to get there. You got to remember that those days are, well before, all the modern technology we have nowadays for all the forecasting. So you can imagine they probably got stuck in some non-windy days and just sat there while they waited for the wind to come around. Nowadays we have modern weather that helps us avoid all that and keeps us moving in the right direction. There are multiple trophies and awards that are presented for crews and the boats during the race. You compete against each other, obviously, to get there as fast as you can. Now, boats like ours, which is going to be really slow through the water in comparison to a 100-foot boat, doesn't really compete for a couple of them. One of them being, it's called the Barn Door Trophy. The Barn Door Trophy is for the first boat to arrive. So the fastest boat to get from point A, Los Angeles, to Honolulu. So they get that trophy. So that's the fastest. The next one is the one that everybody shoots for because it's a handicapped. So every boat has a handicap rating. And if you sail to your rating the best you can, better than everybody else, then even though you don't get there first, because of the handicap, you can win this. So this is the one that really everybody shoots for because you control how fast your boat goes and how well you can sail compared to everybody else sailing their boats. And that one is called King Kalakaua Trophy. And that's the best handicap result. So that's what everybody really shoots for. So say we arrive there at 14 days, but after they take off all of our handicap, we actually would have had a time of 8 days. And then that may have been enough to actually win the race for handicap. So that's one we're going for. Now there's an overall one, and then there's also prizes for each division. So later on, we don't know right now, but later on we'll be divided up into smaller divisions, which then will compete for the winner of that division as well. So you want the big trophy, but you also, if you can win your division, that's really good as well. And then we have the Rudy Troy Perpetual Trophy, which are for the multi-hulls, which we're not competing in. Then the Mark Rudiger Celestial Navigation Trophy. So this is one that we are putting in for. So I submitted my name. We'll be doing celestial navigation across the ocean as a backup to our other ones, our true navigation that we'll be using. But we're going to submit all the paperwork and all of our sites that we do. So it'll be via sun sites, star sites, moon sites, and other planets. To then navigate all the way across to show that we can do that as well. And then you submit all your paperwork and they select which package is the best from that. So we are trying for that one. The next one is the Ben Mitchell Navigation Trophy, which is for the fastest elapsed time by boat. So they're usually the boat that's got there the fastest, that navigator will most likely win that as well, because that's basically what it is. And then the last but not least is the Ronald L. Burla Trophy for Media Excellence. So we haven't submitted our names for this one, but we're going to try to. Basically, it's how well you do your media throughout the race, and then we'll submit a video at the end to see if we can win that as well, which would be good. So those are pretty much all the trophies that we're going to go for, and the ones that are actually presented. You'd ask, is there money? Is there some other things? No, there's no money for this. The owners spend a good amount of money preparing the boat. The crews spend a lot of time preparing as well. A lot of time and effort to basically say, hey, we sailed across from Los Angeles to Hawaii, and hopefully we win something, which would be a bonus. But at the end of the day, really, the whole crew has agreed, including the owners, is we're doing this for the adventure of it, the fun. We hope to arrive there with everybody safe and sound, the boat safe and sound, and everybody had a really good time with lots of memories. And we're going to try to do some filming along the way to record that as well. I think that's good enough for kind of what the TransPac is. I'll put the link in the thing to link down below for the TransPac website if you want to go and take a look at it, where you'll see our names. You can look up our boat, which is called Makani again, and you can see the other boats that are there as well, and you can dig a little into it and see some other stuff. For all my friends out in Hawaii, I'll definitely be reaching out as we get closer to this, and you can follow along, and you'll probably get to see when we're going to arrive, because we'll be hopefully submitting videos every day up to the cloud, up to the internet. We have Starlink that's going to be installed on board, which will help us do that, and also get all our navigation stuff information. And really appreciate everybody that's following along. You know, this is our first time doing videos, and it's really neat to see that we actually have subscribers and people that actually viewed our videos. So thanks a lot for coming along. So please like, subscribe, pass on to anybody else you think might be interested in our channel here, and expect some upcoming videos of our sailing as we prep for the TransPac, and also some of the refit that's been done to Makani as we go forward. Thanks again.